Yes, 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 yes. What's going on? Hope you've had a great weekend. You should know what this is by now, but I get new followers all the time, so I like to come back to the basics. For my book, You Don't Have to Die Broke. Like most things in life, this is not proprietary. I didn't invent it. I've just found it, sourced it, used it, made it my own. And you can do the same. Like Jesus said, it's better to give than to receive. So let's do some giving. Careful people who want to do a lot of charging. They should give you a lot first. There should be a reason for you to buy something from them. Not just because they say they've done something, or they say they have something, or they show you a picture of a pretty object. You should actually get something from them that you could apply to your life, and from that, you then feel compelled to do an exchange. I'm happy to buy things from people who I think have given me value, right? So it's kind of what a salesman's job is, to convey to you the value of the thing you're possibly fixing to buy. This is what I call the money flow. And I use that term for a lot because, well, it's very simple. It is the money flow, right? So money's going to flow in and out of your life. I don't care how poor you are, if you're a teenager or 90 years old, if you're getting Social Security, live on welfare, or you make $150,000 a year working at FedEx, or you're an engineer. Money is flowing into your life. What you do with the money is up to you. All of the money comes in bucket one, and we call this income. This is where it all starts. The goal is to make as much income as you possibly can so that you can fill bucket one, bucket two, and bucket three. But we want to take care of these in order. Now, the thing about the buckets is each bucket's different. And here's what people tend to do. They tend to pay down debt a little bit, save for college a little bit, pay off the car a little bit, make a little bit of an extra payment on a house, do this a little bit, and what you have is a whole bunch of little bits. Nothing ever really gets done. I think you should attack things. So you take it one at a time and you get it right. So instead of saving a little bit, at the same time you're investing a little bit, and at the same time, this is necessities. Over here, necessities are filled with debt. You're paying that a little bit. And so money comes into the bucket. This is your job. In the book, I describe it as a well. Money comes in. Or maybe you have a side hustle also. This is the worst. I mean, this is the best and the worst. Let's say you drive for Uber. You make something, like I sell books. You do something to make money. Now, this could be real estate too. You can flip houses. Rents come in. Some of the stuff that's going to go in the investment bucket can also be considered part of this bucket, but we'll get to that. This is usually something simple. The trick to building wealth fast and to growing as rich, well, as fast as possible, or building wealth as fast as possible, is taking the money from this bucket, because this is, you don't need it. So all of the money coming into the second hustle, side hustle, if you can take all of that money and just push it immediately to this bucket, and we'll get to that. That's when the real wealth creation begins. When you can just take a whole big chunks of money and put it. Now, the reason a lot of people can't do that is they never get the first bucket fixed. So we have to get over here. This bucket is different. This bucket has a hole in it, and all the money runs out. Electric bill, insurance, doctor bills, dentist, car payments, need new tires, kids need shit for school. Me, I need. All of that, lifestyle is right here. This is about 60% of the country, I think I read. Paycheck to paycheck. Money comes in, money goes in here. That's it. And then out a hole it goes. Now, if you were like me and you're an investor, we get to capture a lot of this money through what's called investing. And we invest in businesses. Only 4 things you can invest in. Yourself, that's education, gym memberships, clothes, looking good, going to the dentist, taking care of your health. Yourself, a business that you own, or business, that could be one you own, or it could be a publicly traded business, right? Or what? Real estate. You can invest in real estate. That's about, the the number of things you can invest in are fairly limited. So, yourself is one, a business is two, and then real estate is three. So those are basically the three things that would be in the investing bucket. But before you worry about that, I meet people, they're 19 years old, and they're talking about investing. And it's like, yeah, but you skip this bucket, and you don't have this bucket right. So what we got to do first is we got to fix this hole. This is the debt hole. And this isn't about interest rates. I don't really give a fuck what your interest rates are. You need to get rid of debt. Because every dollar that you're spending on that shit is a dollar that you could have put over here. Or over here. And if you have a whole bunch of holes in the bucket, where the whole bottom is falling out, and it's just debt, that little $500, $1,000 that you threw over here is never going to amount to shit. Okay? And, saving a little bit is just a bunch of little bits. What we got to get you to do is save real money. The only way to get you to real money is you got to get the buckets right. Meaning, you got to see the flow. I used to call this the Millionaire blueprint, okay? And you have to see it. It's not about a certain dollar amount. It's about the path or the pattern, right? Repetition is the mother of skill. You have to get this. If you're waiting around for yourself to make a lot of money, you know what happens? You make a lot of money and you fuck it all off because you don't even know what to do with it. If you can't manage a little, if you can't properly allocate a little, if you can't trade small amounts of money, if you can't buy small houses, you can't do big houses or big money or big trades. Starts with one. And so $1 has to be properly allocated into the bucket system, okay? So if you're waiting around for some bullshit in the future, that's not the pattern or the formula for success. The formula of success is simple. Be what it is you're trying to be. You want to be a trader? Be a fucking trader from here on. And settle the fact you're going to do it forever. That removes the get rich quick. Now you just have to be a good trader, or a good investor, or a good saver, or a good engineer, or a good business owner. Settle it. Settle it. You are that. That's the first step to success. Speak as if and talk as though. Speak into the future. I used to call it falling forward. Be the thing you're trying to be right now. Stop talking as if it's in the future or it's something I'm trying to do. No, you are that right now. You take that right now. Ownership. You own the shit right now. I am that right now. I am a millionaire. I am following the path to become a millionaire. I am a millionaire. I will be, without a doubt, most fucking certain, a millionaire. Why? Because I'm following the millionaire blueprint. And I'll meet people who say, well, I want to be a millionaire by 30. Fuck does that even mean? You don't need to be a millionaire by 30. You need to begin following the millionaire path right now. With $1 that you got, start now. It's not something in the future. Why are you waiting until 30? Well, it takes time, right? I get it. But nothing magical is going to happen to you over the next 10 years if you don't get the buckets right. Income. I talk with people all day. They know way more than I do about investing in rental properties. You know why? They tell me all the time. They don't own any, but they watched a lot. They told me, Gerald, multifamily is better than single family. Really? How many multifamilies you own? I own a bunch of single families. Okay, it's better. But while you're worried about that and talking that conversation and worried about that, I'm buying houses. Why? Because I wanted to get rich. All you got to do to get rich is buy 10 houses. 10 fucking houses and you're a millionaire. 10. You know how hard it is to buy a house? You sign a piece of paper. That's it. You need good credit. Save a down payment. And then action. Go buy it. 10 times, you're a millionaire with almost certainty. Becoming a millionaire is easy. The hard part is properly allocating your money. So you make money. The reason you create the second and the third hustle is to accelerate this process, to break free. The trick to money is having money. You have to have money. Large chunks of money that you don't need allocated to the kids, to the wife, to the mom, to fucking debt. This is not AT&T's money. This is not little Junior's money. This is not Aunt Becky's money. This is money that you've set aside as sacred. It's fucking sacred. And it goes into an account to make you rich. No one else. And when it goes in, it stays in. Forever. Or until you move it into the asset that you're investing in. That's how you do it. And so you begin to allocate the money. You have to cut off the flow of the debt. And it's not an interest rate problem. It's the fact that you're signing for shit you can't pay for problem. That's why you have debt. You have debt because you've chosen to live above your means. I've taken on debt. I've taken on debt strategically. And there's a time to take on debt. But if your debt's not paying you money, the reason you have the fucking debt is because you don't have enough money. If we could just say that out loud and begin to say it and actually be the thing you're trying to be. Do you think of a quality, strong, multi-millionaire investor, do you think he takes on debt for things that go down in value? No. He'd never have gotten to where he's going if he looked at things like that. Okay? So part of the be, I want to be a millionaire. We got it, right? Be, then do equals success. So we have to stop thinking like your mom and your dad and your brother and your uncle and all the other fucking poor people around you. And all of the people that are, well, you know, there's all these social bullshit. You don't accept those things. Put that shit away. You were born poor. Nobody gives a fuck. It's this. Nobody cares where you were born. What they care is what you do from this day forward. And so tomorrow you're going to get money. And you get a choice of what to do with it. You can get rid of the debt, or you can sit and fucking wallow in it. That's what you could do. And make your minimum fucking payments and live with it. That's an option. I didn't like that option. So at 27 years old, I dedicated the next 3 years to eliminating all my debt. Why? Because we don't have debt. Guess what you have? Money. You know what my friends did? Well, Gerald, the interest rate on this is a lot lower. And I'm going to save a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit in my 401k. And they got a whole bunch of a little bit. And you know what I got? No fucking debt. Now what did I have? Money. And so I went to the savings, and I have to get a savings, like serious savings. Like I need a minimum 6 months. I got to pile it in. And you're saying I shouldn't invest while I'm doing that? That's exactly what I'm saying. Or you could be like everyone else and do it the easy fucking way and let me know how that's working. Because I don't see a lot of people that are rich, that have plenty of money, that are smart, that are investing. Do you? Are you hanging out with them? Are your friends doing that? Are the people you're surrounded with, are they rolling in the dough? Probably not. So maybe you're going to have to do something that's fucking uncomfortable, that's different than what most normal people would do. That's called living outside the box. It's one of the 10 pillars of success. Click my link. There's no charge. There's no charge. You just fucking read it and then apply it. It's better to give than to receive. So, as you begin to fix this stuff, is this too rough? Should I go, should I be, does it hurt your feelings? Should we talk nicer to people? Seems like we've been too nice to people for too fucking long. The reason you have generational poverty is people are fucking stupid. And instead of telling them the truth of what you have to do to invest out, I don't give a fuck if you're black, white, Hispanic. You can be just as dumb and be white, just as dumb and be black, and just as dumb and be Hispanic. Okay? No fucking excuse. You don't get a fucking excuse because of your skin color. If you're living stupid, then guess what? You get a whole bunch of stupid. And that has nothing to do with skin color or sex or any of that. You're just choosing it. And so if you don't put anything in the investing bucket, yeah, no shit, Sherlock, you're going to be broke. Like you don't need a fucking march for that. You don't need a politician to tell you that. You don't need someone on the left or the right to explain that to you, do you? Tomorrow you're going to get money. And if none of that money goes here, fast forward 10 years, what do you have? Nothing. This shit is not complicated. You get paid. You have income. You get to choose what to allocate it in. And if you go and sign a bunch of fucking debt, you will always be poor. Jesus said the poor will always be with us. So some people are just always going to be poor. This is why the Science of Getting Rich says, don't spend any time wallowing with the poor. You can't help it. It doesn't matter. There's institutions that'll do that. Now you say, well, are you saying we shouldn't help the poor? I'm not saying society shouldn't help the poor or government shouldn't help the poor. I'm talking about you. You personally need to help you. And the best thing you can do is not be fucking poor. That's what the best thing you could do. Now, how do you do that? Every dollar, the money flow. Money comes in. So what do? Either get a pay raise or cut the expenses. Either one of those, raising your income or lowering your expenses, will increase the margin. Hello. You don't need an MBA in business to explain margin expansion means you have more money. And as we get to the investing section, we're going to learn all about margin expansion and margin. That's business talk, stock talk for increased income. First, we got to increase the income. Means you got to get your revenues up so you can bring home more money. And then we got to start allocating it properly so that you mitigate the taxes. See, when you invest in real estate, you're not going to pay any fucking taxes. But how can I teach you about that if you don't have any money? And so all of this works strategically together. But here's what most people do. I have a job, I have a 401k that I have no fucking idea what it's really invested in. It's the VGG. I don't even know what that means. That's most people. Oh, and I got a car thing. I got a little bit on my credit card. And I go through life and I just go ride the fucking bus. And then I take the weekend off. Oh, wait, I'm 54 and broke. Like it snuck up on them. I didn't know. Oh, my dad didn't tell me. Oh, you're blaming your fucking parents. I get that one a lot. Well, my parents didn't teach me about money. What? The universe taught you about money. God himself has given the formula to how to bless people. It's better to give than to receive, right? Like the formula is there. You want to grow a business? Give people more in value than you ask for. Mow the yard better than you charge for. Make the food taste better than the money you're asking for. It's not hard. You want to get a pay raise at work? Shut the fuck up and come to work early and stay late and work harder than you're paid for. Put in more than they pay you to put in and you will get a pay raise. It's not complicated. So you want to make more money. You're going to work harder. I have this thing called the 8th day. You know what the 8th day is? It's about fucking expansion. You have to create expansion if you're broke. Immediately. You need to expand. You need more time that's paying you. Now, if you're sitting good and you got plenty of money, turn the fucking video off. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the guy right now who's 19, 20, 25, 26, and you have fucking kids and credit card payments and debt and school loans. You don't have time to bullshit. Time is compressing on you. Time is the part of the Millionaire Code. Time times yield. Right? Times yield times amount. How much money you're putting in. For the investment category, it's about time and yield and amount. Well, we don't have an amount if you don't make enough money because of fucking debt. There is no amount. There's no amount to put in. And so you can't get rich. Because you choose it. So, but the moment you decide, I don't want to do that. I'd like to get rich. Cool. This is where it gets exciting. Because once you decide that, it's not hard. We need savings. Why do we need savings? So that when the market crashes, like recently in COVID, you know how many people I talked to that sold their stocks? You know why they sold their stocks? Because they were scared. You know why they were scared? Because they didn't understand what the fuck they're investing in. Doctors, engineers, lawyers, smart people who sold their stocks. You know why the young cats, you're 20, you're 25, you got 30, 35,000, start putting money in. Why? Because you know, you can feel in your fucking soul, even though you can't explain it, that you had time on your side. The old people feel like they didn't have time. Why? Because they feel time compressing on them. They know they can't get it back in. And what does that do? Because of their ignorance and the lack of time, they make bad decisions. Time times yield times amount. That is the Millionaire Code. Time. So you're 30. Right now you're 30 and you don't have $100,000. That means you fucked off the last decade. You've had a fucking decade from age 20 to 30 and you saved nothing. When you say that out loud, that doesn't sound very good. Maybe you need to say it out loud so that you fix it. I was in the same boat. I was 27 years old. I had $12,000 and I got fucking embarrassed. How am I going to be? Because I had dreams of being rich and running my own business and retire. All that shit, early retirement. How the fuck am I going to do that at 27 and I got 12 grand? Divide that by how many days I've been alive. I saved 10 fucking cents a day. This coffee costs more than that. And so as you begin to look at it and break it down by days, by time, by amount, and by yield, it's not hard. And it should result in conviction. And so the reason your parents are broke is they just fucked off time, didn't care about yield, and just didn't put anything in. That's what happened. Why? Life. I've talked about this in other videos. Life is hard, dude. It doesn't seem fucking hard right now when you're young. When you're 18, 19, your body doesn't hurt, your mind isn't moving slower, you don't feel the compression of time. The problem is time is wasted on the youth. So you waste it. Go get student loans, listen to dumb fucking adults in your life, and you go get student loans. And then you start, well, maybe I won't pay them back because of interest rates. And you just start compiling your dumb decisions. And now you're 35, and time starts to kick in. And you realize I'm 35 years old and I don't have any fucking money. Now time becomes real to you. Time is your greatest asset. The sooner that you catch on to the money flow and getting the buckets right and attacking debt, you got to eliminate it. You got to do it fast. You got to get the 8th day. No fucking days off. Just make money and pour it into that and get rid of that debt. Now, some of your debt's too high and you can't see it. Seems like it's too much. Seems too much. I'm telling you, that's how you get free. I haven't had a job in 20 years. You know why? I don't have any debt. I don't have any consumer debt. I have electric bill, food. See what I'm saying? So when times get tough, watch what happens when you have these buckets and you're in my situation. COVID, what if this gets worse? You guys with jobs are fucking nervous, right? What if they let you go? What happens when you do what I'm fixing to show you? You have a primary job, a way of making money, and then all of a sudden you start creating, see, I got three ways of making money that aren't dependent on a person paying me. I don't ask anybody on this. This is shit I make, I create, I develop, I put out. Right? And over here, the necessities, I just have necessities. Electricity, insurance, basic shit we all have. No consumer debt. So my hole's kind of small. I mean, we all got electric, we all got property taxes and all of this, okay? I got the savings. Mine's at about a lot of years. Ideally, you want to get this to 1 to 2 years. When I say that, that scares people, confuses them. One of them is paying off your personal residence. I know there's a lot of gurus and smart people who tell you your house is not an asset, don't pay it off. These are stupid people. When your home is paid for in the state of Texas, it's protected from lawsuits. It's going to appreciate at 5% a year. If you blow out, if life goes bad, if some shit happens to you that we can't account for, and you have this house and it's paid for, you could fucking sell this house and have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars completely tax-free, and you could start your life over. That's called the do-over account. I teach this in my book, but a lot of people, they're too fucking smart to understand this concept because they're seeing everything the way it should go. And let me let you in on something. It doesn't go that way. Like, your kid might die. Hello. Your wife may get cancer and fucking die. You may have a car wreck. You could be sued. Your company goes bust. You get sick. Shit happens. Shit happens. So these people that are telling you to carry all this debt and pay, these are stupid people. They're talking in a perfect world. Or they're so rich, yeah. You know, you have $3 million, you don't have a car payment, you got a couple million, but who gives a fuck? But when you make $27,000 a year, you can't have that. You can't have a car payment when you make $27,000 a year. Listen, if right now your car is more than your brokerage account, you are doing it fucking wrong. You understand that, right? If you have more in your car than you have in your investment accounts, you're fucked. Like, you have to fix this immediately. I don't know who you're talking to or what you're reading, but you are completely fucked. And you won't be able to vote your way out of it. And that is not Donald Trump or Biden. That's you being a fucking idiot. That's what that is. No one, that's it. It's you. Pillar number 10 of the 10 pillars. Remember I said one of them is what? Think outside the box. Pillar number 1, how you think is everything. And pillar number 10, take full responsibility. You are where you are right now because of the decisions you made, the people you married, the shit you drank, and the school you went to, and the fucking car you bought, and what you did that day, and the shit you signed for. That was on you. And the moment you accept that, you get personal power to fix it. House is an asset. I'll never have that conversation with anyone else again. It's part of the do-over account. You can sell it, that money, so it can count part of your savings 1 to 2 years. So we got to get rid of the debt, and we got to get the savings right. Now a guy says, Gerald, does that mean I can't trade? I'm not saying you can't. Take a minute. Put a couple grand into a trading account and learn. But your life can't be about funding that trading account when you have all this out of whack, okay? You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying you couldn't stop, take $500 and start a lawn care business. Use your common sense there. But if you keep doing one fucking adventure, I'm going to do Bitcoin, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. And guess what? Time fucks you because you've wasted so much of it chasing dumb things, not getting the buckets right. You don't borrow money to do anything. You don't borrow money to start a business. Let me say that again. Do not borrow money to start a business. Okay? There's no other way to say this. You don't borrow money to start a business. You don't borrow money to buy crypto. You don't borrow money to buy stocks. You don't take HELOC loans out to buy real estate. Why? Because it's part of your fucking do-over plan. It's part of your savings. The equity in your home is part of your savings. It's the protection. It's the castle. And the king and the queen's first job is to guard the castle. This is where your family lives. And you're going to take that, the one thing that has actually worked, the equity that you've actually built, that actually worked the way it should, and you're going to put that shit at jeopardy to do something that you don't know will work. Because you're too lazy to go get money. Right here. Income. To get the second job, second hustle. Do not listen to these people telling you to take HELOCs out. These are the same people that will tell you your house is not an asset. I know. I know why they say that. But that's they haven't read my book, You Don't Have to Die Broke. They don't understand why I say that about a house. Because of how many people I've seen sell all of their assets, sell all of their stocks because of COVID. Do you know how many people have tapped into their retirement programs because of COVID? You know why? Because this shit was out of whack. If you borrow from your retirement because of COVID, you will die broke. The reason you had to do that is you didn't have adequate savings. You put your family at jeopardy. That's on you. You did that. You chose that path. You chose to have debt and not build your savings. You choose that. You think we're done? You don't think there will be another COVID? You don't think there will be another fucking problem? You don't think? I've been like 10 of them I'm 50. It happens all the time. I see the same shit over and over. The reason I've become such a good stock trader, it's the same fucking thing over and over. It never changes. It never changes. You remember the last election, if Trump won, authoritarian dictatorship, and the whole world was going to come. Oh, the world's going to end. It didn't end. And now, my conservative friends, oh, if Biden wins, they're going to raise taxes. It's the end of the world. No, it's not, dude. It's the same fucking thing. You're going to get up and go do the same fucking thing. You're going to take your ass to work. That's it. Nothing changes for you. And you got people that aren't even in half the arguments. You don't even make over $400,000. The rich are going to keep getting richer. They're going to keep doing taxes. Everything's going to be the same. It doesn't matter which dipshit we elect. It's going to be the same. And putting any time and effort in. If you're sitting at home with debt and you're arguing about politics, dude, You deserve to be broke. If you're sitting at home arguing politics and you're sitting on debt and you got time to argue that, but you're not arguing for you, you're not arguing at yourself to take your ass out to work so that you can get the money and pay the debt off, you need to argue for that, dude. That's what you need to argue for you. So how do I go from making $12 an hour at a job to multi-millionaire? Well, I got the first million in 8.7 years. Because I argue for me. I fought for me. 8th day right here. Multiple income streams. Spent 3 years. I completely eliminated all debt. I got my income up. I had all these income sources going, and now I have zero fucking debt. I'm able to massively raise my savings level. What does that allow me to do? Now I can take some risk. Now I can invest in those business ventures. I can start the website. Oh, it's $6,000 to do it. Cool, let's try it. Why? Because I don't have any debt. And I've got adequate savings. I can now begin to take calculated risk that makes sense. And guess what? One of them hits. And I make about $500,000 in about 3 years. Why was I able to do that? Because now I can take risk. I don't have debt. I don't feel a failure. So what? I lose $6,000. Who cares? When a guy lives paycheck to paycheck, he can't do that. He can't take calculated risk. He can't sit around thinking, right? And you've had one failure after another failure after another failure, and the buckets, you're still in debt, still don't have any savings. You don't think that messes with your mind? So what do I do now when I have the big score, when everything's right? Well, when I had the big score, I'd already started investing. I know what to do. Read my book. I was investing in dogs with the Dow, so I'm investing in dividend stocks. Don't overcomplicate this. This is stupidly simple. What else am I investing in? Real estate. I didn't say I'm wholesaling. I didn't say multifamily. I'm just buying very simple houses. You know all about it. You've lived in real estate your whole life. You know all about it. Go buy simple, inexpensive, cheap homes in areas where the rent covers the mortgage. People make this so complicated. The taxes, the insurance, and a little maintenance. And then I want a little bit of cash flow. I want about $100, $200 a month. Little drip. Give me a little drip. Throw me $100, and then this thing's self-sufficient. You say, Gerald, well, what if they don't pay me rent? Who gives a fuck? I have savings out the wazoo, and I have no debt. So I can take on the risk of real estate. And I can buy another one, and 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 another one. And as I'm doing that, what are they doing? Throwing me off cash flow. So all of a sudden, I've got the primary, I've got 2 or 3 secondaries, and now my investments are throwing me money. My investments are giving me $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month, and I don't need the money. I don't have any debt. What do? I begin to multiply it. I start investing in it. Well, where I live, $20,000 to buy a house. Well, if you're making $3,000, $4,000 a month on your houses that you don't need because your business and your way you're living is so cheap, I could buy a house every 3 or 4 months, which increases the money, which pushes it out in the cycle, and you begin to grow exponentially. But that's not going to happen to you when you can't get from over here. And you're not going to get from over here politely, nicely, with people holding your hand saying you can do anything you want to do. You're probably going to have to kick your own ass. Why do you think there's so few? This is not complicated. Becoming a millionaire is fucking easy, dude. It's just math. So if a guy like me can say it's fucking easy, it's easy. It's just math. It's just math. You need margin. You need money. You need to make money. So I don't make enough. Well, fucking stop taking days off. Stop having debt. If you spend the first year getting rid of all your debt, guess what you're going to have? More money. So at least the following year, you'll have more money. And hopefully you'll get a fucking pay raise. And what does that cause? When the debt goes down and the way you're living goes down and the income goes up, what is all the middle? That's margin. And you push the margin into savings, and once we're done there, now we're just pushing it over to investments. And while we're working this plan, we're learning about these other things. And maybe you get lucky and you start a business that you make a couple $100,000. And if it doesn't last long, cool. You know what to do with the money. What? You run it through the money flow. If there's any bills, you need to pay them. If you need more savings, you build it up. Knock off the house. You don't need a mortgage. Why do you need a fucking mortgage? People say, man, it's the cheapest form of money. So? You know what's cheaper than, you know what's the cheapest form of money? No mortgage. That's pretty cheap. And then you say, well, I won't have any. Yeah, you're going to have all this income coming in, plus your investments are throwing you money. Well, it doesn't matter if you have them. You don't want to, now what happens when you don't have bills, you have piles of savings, you have no mortgage, and your investments are paying you money. And now we go from the 40 years old to 50 years old in this. And that's what I did. Guess where my friends are? Still fucking this all up. It's still all just a little bit of each. Got maybe a couple hundred here, got 20, 30,000 saved, a little bit for the kids, a bunch of dumb shit they bought. But none of this was planned. It's just throwing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, just throwing some, a little here, a little here, a little here. Yeah, we'll take the weekends. And then now they're 50. And I'm sitting on $3 million, and they're thinking, I better get serious about this retirement thing. And they've wasted all that time, which is the core ingredient to the Millionaire Blueprint, which is time. Time. And you. This is return on your investments. So when you're 30 years old, like I was, and you buy a single family home, that was 20 years ago, dude. Think about that. I have at least 6 homes that are over 20 years old that I bought. I have one. I have some that are a couple of 19, a couple that are 18. Years. Think of that. Time times amount times, well, it should have been yield, but you can do the formula any direction, equals what? What do you think I paid for a house 20 years ago? There's no mortgage on it. It's just throwing off money that I've been depreciating against, basically tax-free, pushing that money into other assets. What do you think the stocks that I bought 20 years ago when I bought AT&T inside of a SEP IRA, I'm paying no taxes on it, and I'm just recompounding this dividend, and then I take my strategy from the book I teach where I teach stocks. I teach stocks, how to buy stocks, using charts to get a better price. And you start doing this. But we can't get into all this stuff. Trading, buying houses, and doing that stuff. Like, dude, I have houses that I've had 1,000% return. 1,000 on a house. I have stocks. At least 3 that I can think of that have gone up over 500%. These aren't normal numbers. Like your friends at work aren't, if they do this, they're on cloud 9. This is just life for me. Like I anticipate doing this. Not all the time, but that's the goal. My trading, I'm trying to make 50% a year. And people, you can't do that. Okay. All right, Mr. Broke Guy. Tell me what else I can't do. How do you live without a job? Well, I've done it. Well, can you live without debt? Well, I don't have any debt. I don't know what to tell you. No debt. Well, how can pay your, I don't have a mortgage. Like, these are choices that I made. And just get up every day to prove them, like to push my intent into the universe. So you can choose to be poor. You can say, well, I'm a minority. I don't know. Fuck, bullshit. Google it. It's fucking available to everyone. Whether you're a native Indian or a white kid in a fucking trailer park or Milan, Asia. Google it. It's right there. We don't need to go to school anymore. Everything you need to know is freely available in the universe. You don't even need to buy my course. Might speed you up. But you could find it. I don't know anything you don't know. Ain't one of these fucking gurus on here knows something you can't Google. Let me say that again. There is nobody on YouTube or Instagram that know anything that you can't Google. It's all free. Now, they can shortcut your time. They can speed it up because they can condense it. And I'm not against that. My point is, there is no secret knowledge. There's just doing shit the average way and then doing shit a more effective way. You've heard the phrase, work smarter, not harder. That's what the bucket system is about. Right? But what's going to happen is people try to jump it. You know why they don't want to pay off debt? Because that's hard, takes discipline. And what you're missing is the character building, the mindset that happens as you go through the buckets and you begin to do this and you begin to build confidence in yourself and you spend time learning and you don't do get rich quick shit and other dumb things because you can't, because you're following a system and you're trying to eliminate your debt, you're trying to build them savings emergency, you're trying to create the do-over account, right? And then you start doing your investing, right? You create these side things. Like when you start putting all this together, nowhere in here is doing dumb shit. It's not in there. In the confidence that you'll build when you go through this process, you won't even get caught up in that kind of stuff, man. It's called money flow. If you don't have my free ebook, get the free ebook. You know, you might not like my style. No one has any excuses, man. The world is hard. I'll give you that. I've been punched in the face a lot. And it doesn't matter. It's the same the next day. Doesn't matter. It doesn't change. It's still just a math formula. No matter what tragedies happen, no matter what life throws at you, no matter your appearance, no matter what any issue or problems that you have, it's just a math formula. And it's just money, expenses, and you invest the difference. And you do it in order. And if you do that, and you do that consistently, and over a 7 to 10 year period, you're going to build the foundation to become really wealthy. And if you stop investing, if you do what I show you, when you stop, you could just stop and it'll continue to grow. Like your investments will just grow without you and grow as long as you don't touch them. You just leave them be. Time, the next decade, then the next decade, and then the next decade. But if you do what I'm saying, that second decade you get about this game, I'm on the third decade. I did the first one, laid the foundation. Then I got on the second one, right? Well, I'm coming into my third one. If I go hard on this one with what I already know, I'm trying to get to 10 million, son.